Hi, sweetheart. Okay, Daddy's going to read you The Little Mermaid. Once upon a time, a mermaid named Ariel disobeyed her father's orders and ventured into the world above the ocean's surface. There she saw a human celebrating his birthday aboard a festive sailing ship. His friends called him Prince Eric. Ariel thought he was very handsome and wished she could meet him. Suddenly, a hurricane swept in. The storm tore the ship apart and threw its passengers into the sea. Ariel dived after the young prince to rescue him from the threatening waves. She found Prince Eric and dragged him to the shore. As the prince lay unconscious, she touched his face tenderly and sang to him. When she heard someone call his name, she quickly returned to the sea and watched from afar as his servants discovered him. She wished that she could have remained on the beach with him. The next day, the royal composer, Sebastian the Crab, went to see Ariel. He was a trusted friend of her father, King Triton. Sebastian tried to convince Ariel that she had a good life as a mermaid. Life under the sea is better than anything up there, he told her. But nothing he said could change her mind. Ariel was in love. Only Flounder, a fish who was Ariel's most loyal friend, understood. He had noticed a statue of the prince had landed in Ariel's secret grotto after the shipwreck. The grotto was where she kept human-made objects that she had found. He led Ariel to the sculpture, knowing she'd be thrilled. "Flounder, you're the best!" she cried when she saw it. "It looks just like him." There's a little picture of Flounder and Sebastian. Just then, King Triton appeared. He knew that Ariel had made contact with the human world. He was worried because she could have been hurt, and furious because she had disobeyed him. Ariel told her father about Prince Eric. "Daddy, I love him," she cried. But the little mermaid couldn't convince her father that she was meant to be with the prince. In a final attempt to protect her from the dangers of the human world, King Triton raised his trident and destroyed all of Ariel's human-made treasures, even the statue. Ariel was determined to find a way to be with Eric, but she knew her father would never help her. So she went to the evil sea witch Ursula, and they made a deal. In exchange for Ariel's beautiful voice, Ursula transformed the mermaid's tail into legs. Ariel would remain human only if she received the kiss of true love before sunset on the third day. If she didn't, she'd turn back into a mermaid and become one of Ursula's servants forever. Ariel swam to the surface with her new legs, happy to be human at last. She wiggled her toes excitedly while Sebastian watched in shock. I'm going to march myself home right now and tell the Sea King," he cried. But when she looked at the sadness in Ariel's eyes, he knew she would never be happy as a mermaid. "All right," he decided. "I'll help you find your prince." Scuttle, Ariel's seagull friend, happily made her a dress out of a ship's sail and rope. It wasn't long before Prince Eric arrived on the beach. "You're the one!" Eric exclaimed as he saw her. "The one I've been looking for!" Ariel nodded enthusiastically. Then Eric remembered that the girl who had rescued him had a beautiful voice. But Ariel wasn't able to speak. "Oh, you couldn't be who I thought," he said with a sigh. Still, he helped her to the castle. When they ate dinner together that night, Ariel used a fork to comb her hair and made Eric laugh for the first time in weeks. The next day, the prince took Ariel on a tour of his kingdom. She was fascinated with everything from horses to puppet shows. They danced in the marketplace, and Ariel even drove the carriage on the ride back. Eric was delighted by his new guest and pleased with her fun-loving nature. Ariel enjoyed the day too, but the two still hadn't kissed. Would she be able to make him fall in love with her in time? That evening, Eric and Ariel rode together in a quiet lagoon. Soon the prince found himself leaning close to Ariel. Just when he was about to kiss her, Ursula's pet eel showed up and tipped the boat over. Eric helped Ariel swim ashore. Deep under the sea, Ursula watched through a crystal ball. She was determined to do everything in her power to make sure there was no kiss. Then she had transformed herself into a beautiful woman named Vanessa. That night, she arrived at Eric's castle and hypnotized the prince. She used Ursula's voice, which she had trapped in a seashell necklace, to make Eric believe that she was the girl who had rescued him. When Ariel awakened, Vanessa had already planned a wedding. That's when they're about to kiss. And that's when Vanessa shows up. The ceremony was about to take place aboard a boat. Scuttle gathered all the sea creatures he could find to help him delay it, while Flounder helped Ariel swim to the ship. Scuttle managed to put a magic seashell necklace from Vanessa's neck, and Ariel got her voice back. Once the spell on Prince Eric was broken, he realized that Ariel was his true love. But just as he was about to kiss her, she became a mermaid again. Then Vanessa turned back into Ursula. Ursula pulled Ariel into the water, but Eric wouldn't give her up without a fight. "I lost her once. I'm not going to lose her again," the prince yelled as he maneuvered a rowboat across the ocean. He shot a harpoon at the sea witch, but her pet eels dragged him below the waves. Ursula grew to a monstrous size, towering above them. She used the Sea King's trident to create a whirlpool, which caused Eric's old ship to be lifted from the ocean floor. The prince climbed aboard the vessel and steered it directly towards the powerful sea witch. He hit her head on. She sank into the ocean, gone forever. Eric jumped from the ship and swam to safety. As he lay exhausted on the shore, Ariel watched from a rock far out in the ocean. Turning to Sebastian, King Triton said, "She really does love him, doesn't she?" He granted his beautiful daughter her greatest wish, to become part of the human world and watch happily as she married the prince. Then Ariel and Eric sailed towards their kingdom, where they lived happily ever after. Okay, well, that was The Little Mermaid. I love you, sweetheart.